Hello my beautiful people, welcome to your weekly general taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for everybody. This is a general energy sort of it's a look at the general energies, trends and themes that we're all likely to be experiencing over the course of the week. Sometimes, and this is all under the guise of my intuitive message, which sometimes this reading will speak to what's happening on the wider world stage. Sometimes it will be a message for us. Sometimes it will be just a rambling from yours truly. With that said, these have really been greatly received. I remember the first one of these that I did, just because there were so many sort of sequences and stuff that came up in the sign readings that people were asking for a key to the week message, and that's how the weekly general was born. So if you didn't know that, you do now. Thank you so much for being here. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So for our weekly message, when I went into my intuition, what I actually saw was a butterfly that only had one wing outside of its chrysalis, and the message that I got from that was marvel at what has worked, right? So the butterfly doesn't sit there and go, oh my gosh, there's one wing that's still inside the chrysalis, it's awful, I'm hideous, like it doesn't do that, right? What it does is make sure that this one is out and it's marvelous and it's loved for exactly what it is. So this week, the message that we all have, and you know, from my intuitive leanings, let's say, is that you should be focused on what has worked. It's so easy to get hung up and caught up on what you haven't done, where you haven't given enough, where you haven't done enough, where you haven't been present enough, or, you know, where anything in general just hasn't been enough. It's so easy to get hooked up on those things, or on the things that haven't worked, the things that haven't quite happened the way that we had planned, the things that we feel we have failed at. And the truth is, there's no such thing as failure. It's all learning, or as my pa used to say, substance and experience. And as a young person, I really struggled with that concept until I read a book called The Celestine Prophecy. And I read that, I think I was like 15 or 16 when I first read it. And when I read it, I was like, okay, now I get it. Now I get what he's on about. So yeah, it was quite interesting as an idea. It's all substance and experience. And this is the whole point. There's no such thing as failure. It's all learning. Now, that being said, marvel at what has worked. When you look at your life at this moment in time, what has worked? What is doing well? What is really, you know, no matter how small it is, no matter how grandiose it is, this is about celebrating. This is Six of Wands kind of energy, right? Celebrating the small wins, celebrating the everyday, celebrating the, or romancing the ordinary. I think that's probably the best way to put it. For our destiny card for this week ahead, we have the Hermit card, right? So aside from all of its traditional meanings of withdrawing from the world and all the rest of it, the Hermit card represents a quest that can be, or, you know, can at least sometimes feel like it's perilous. Why? Because it's mapping the inner world. How we truly get to know ourselves, how we truly get to know anything, is by truly mapping the inner world, which is like your psyche, your mind, your heart, your emotions, all of that good stuff. And sometimes wading through it can be a challenge. But the Hermit card, through the guise of this, what has worked? When you think about the Hermit card, this is about showing up. It's about doing that hard work. This is also, because it is the Hermit card, you're being asked this week to really look at where you've already shown up, where you've already put the hard work in, where you've already done the effort. And this is about really refining that process and also smoothing off the edges. You know, when you make something in a mold, once you take it out, you have to kind of give it a little sand around the edges, a little buff, a little rub, a little spit shine. Does anyone remember your mum doing that at school? Like, come here. Oh my God, kill me now. But yeah, all jokes aside, what is it in your life that really does need a little you know, just a little brushing off. And this isn't about anything not being clean or not being, it's about you brushing it off and saying, actually, you know what, this is working. I don't know why I chucked it in the fuck it bucket. That being said, for our direction cards, how do we best utilize this energy? How do we best tap into that Hermit card? And what can we gain from it? And this week we have the 10 of Wands. All right, so you got to be prepared to put down your old stories this week. It also suggests this is not a week to allow anyone or anything to talk at you. Let them talk to you, but if they can't do that, don't take it on board. Then we've got the Ace of Swords coupled with the Hermit card. This is about making a new decision. And then we've got the Queen of Pentacles. So a Virgo woman may feature for us in some way, shape or form. This could be somebody that you work with, somebody that you work alongside. It could be somebody that you study with. It could be a friend, a colleague, a lover, a partner. It could be all of the above. But it does suggest that there is aiding and support that is coming through from this. For some of you, this looks like a new contract of sorts. For others, this is literally you deciding to put down an old story, to make a choice to change your mind, like literally to make a choice to change your mind, to let go of an old story and to allow new people to come in order to assist you in some way, shape or form. I actually really like this triplet because it does also suggest that your monetary, your finances, your resources, your material experience is enhanced this week when you release the stories that you've been telling yourself, when you let go of what is no longer truly growing you or enhancing the experience that you have. And a part of that is going to be that hermit work of going on that quest, you know, putting on your cloak and grabbing your wizard staff and saying, right, self, it's you and me. Let's get in there. Let's get into that inner space and ask, where is it that we're holding ourselves back? Where is it that we are allowing old scripts, old stories, old ideas, old methods, in some way, shape or form, the fucking patriarchy? Where are we allowing that stuff from the external world to encroach on who or what we are? And where is it that we are allowing that to become our reality? Ultimately, we shape the lives that we have. We shape the reality that we live, right? We really, really do, whether we like that idea or not. How much are you feeding into what you truly want to create by celebrating and marveling in what has worked? Or doing the opposite and just focusing on what's not working, what you don't have, being in that whole lack mindset. And this isn't me having a go saying like, oh, you know, if your life sucks right now, it's your own fault. It's about accountability and responsibility. And we all have a level of that in our own lives for the experience that we're having at any given moment. I'm speaking to myself on this one at the moment as well, trust me. So if you guys ever think I'm sat here like giving a lecture, trust me, no, there are moments where I'm like, okay, I hear you. And there are times where tarot, love you man, but can be very obnoxious. So with that said, our insight cards, what may we not be seeing, what might be going on behind the scenes, or what may we need to know in order to move forward? We have the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles has come up twice now. An earth sign woman, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, could be very, very prominent for all of us in some way, shape or form. This may have something to do with the wider world stage. If it is a woman on the wider world stage, we'll be talking about an older or an elderly earth sign woman. Then we've got the Death card. Okay, wow. I think you all know where I'm driving with this, and I've talked about it several times. Then you've got the Hanged Man. All right, so on a more microcosmic level, the Death card with the Hanged Man is not an easy... It's the Queen of Pentacles. She's taken a tumble. The Queen... The Death card with the Hanged Man can literally be a removal or a refute. Like that can literally represent martyrdom in some way. In some ways, it can also represent on a deeper level, this could be really powerful connections with, the dead. So things like mediumship. It's not the High Priestess. I would want to see that here, to be honest. But I do wonder if on the wider world stage we may see a passing of an earth sign woman. It could be possible. Now, like I said, on a more microcosmic level, there's something about this that really speaks to spirituality for me. It also suggests that this is a time where you have to stop the fantasies or the parallel realities. And what I mean by that is, you know, like when something, you know, when you envision something or your mind goes off on a tangent of how awful something could be, and then it would be this and then it would be that, and oh my gosh, it would be this, and like this week you've got to stop that stuff dead in its tracks, right? So as soon as your mind starts going off on those negative tangents, or in getting into those negative feedback loops or those catch-22s, you got to find a way to snap yourself out of it ASAP and very, very quickly this week, especially because as we're, you know, as the end of this week, we're really heading towards that Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, and it's really, really important that at that time your mind, your energy are aligned to your own highest good. And I'm not talking about all light and fluffy and feathers and all the rest of it. I'm talking about making sure that you and your channel are clear, are crystal clear, so that you're not putting anything out there or amplifying anything that is not going to be for your highest good. That being said, with that Queen of Pentacles, this may also be a time where finances and resources on the wider world stage over the course of this week may take a little bit of a dip or a tumble in some way. I'm intrigued by this as well, because we've got it right underneath the Hermit card. That being said, I wish you all an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments what you think, what you feel. How does it touch you? How does it affect you? With that said, take care, and I'll see you soon.